You guys have not been able to hear this the whole time? Wow. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. Let's start over. Okay, take two. Take two. We're going to do the little snappy thing. Take two. All right. Dang it. Fish. Dang it, fish. Well, I'm glad that you guys will stick around with me. You guys are awesome. Yeah. Okay, item number one that I started with was thank you to the person who commented about the reason why my video and audio were not syncing on my side. It ended up being the sample rate. It's hilarious because I worked in audio for over a decade. I should have thought of that. Thank you very much for that. Hopefully you guys, and yay, we got people going, yay, we can hear you, woohoo. Guys, I'm so sorry about that. What was that, like 2 minutes? 2 full minutes of me not knowing you. Oh, anyway, okay. We're talking about Maddie Soto. All right. Let me just recap it for you guys. And I will put in the description, skip to, whatever, to skip all the nonsense from the beginning. Oh my goodness. Okay. Maddie Soto. Gavin, let's do this seriously because this is not funny. Just a quick recap. Okay. Maddie, 13 years old. Last seen Sunday night, February 25th. On the 26th, this guy, who was the on-again, off-again boyfriend of Madeline's mother, Jen Soto, says that he took her to school, dropped her off. Later that afternoon, when Jen went to go pick her up, she did not come out, and turns out that she had never been to school that day. Stearns was later arrested for her abuse first, 60 counts related to CSAM and SA of little Maddie. And because 1,700 digital files were found in his Google Drive depicting his abuse of this sweet little girl. And he had been abusing her for at least 5 years. And then something like 30,000 extra images of CSAM. Okay. Her body was later discovered on March 1st, about 4:30 in the afternoon. And he was charged with her murder. So that is the primer. Now, we've been going over this case for a couple weeks now. For the last few days, we went over the interrogation of Stephen Stearns. Today, we're going to be going over the interview of Jen Soto. I want to introduce it just a little bit here, okay? Number one, the interview started about 12:45, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me come over here real quick. Yeah, about 12:45 p.m. on March 1st. Madeline's body was not found until about 4:30 p.m., I understand. So when these investigators are talking with Jen Soto, they don't know that her body has been discovered yet, I don't think, if my timeline is correct. I have not watched the video. I should say that up front too. Other than to do a couple things to it. I scanned it and I have removed all the stuff where she's just in the room alone, right? And you'll see it dip to white. This is the scene. So you can see the cuts that I've made, but they're just cuts for time. Number two, I have done some things to the sound. I have dehummed it, I've denoised it, I have amplified it and limited it. So we should be able to hear it better than the original audio. But because of the way I did it and because of their far proximity to the microphones, you don't get this proximity effect where it amplifies the bass, right? So it sounds very tinny, but we can understand it better, I think, the way I've done it there. Anytime audio goes to 0, that is a redaction that the Orange County Sheriff's Office did. And you can see that this is a room that is set up very different from the one where they interrogated Stephen Stearns. However, that little metal piece on the wall there, that plate cover right there, I believe that is the microphone. So, when they brought in Jen, it was more like, hey, have a seat in our lounge and or / living room, and we will just have a chat with you. It's not like an interrogation room. Okay. All right. Is there anything else? Let's see. Yeah, you guys are doing awesome. Let's see. Edith can't see me. I hope you can see me. Oh, Tracy called me a boomer. I am a boomer. Thank you very much for helping me out. And boomers are the best. Yeah, I'm a wannabe boomer for sure. Thanks, guys. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's just go ahead and begin the video. You can see that even after I have reduced, the time, it's still 2 hours and 46 minutes. So we're going to do this in 3 parts. So we'll probably do close to an hour tonight. I will try to keep my interruptions to a minimum. If you put GF in your live chat and I don't show it as it's coming in, I may have that reserved to go back later and talk. So I'm going to try to not interrupt and say, hey, we'll talk about this one later. Great question, like I have in the past. Okay, I just want to be able to move along since we've got a lot of content. Last thing I will say before we do this is this content is not for children. No children allowed, right? This is adults only. So any kiddos that are watching right now, again, we love you. We think you're awesome, but you are not invited to this little party. You need to stop right now. And Landon, I know you're watching these. This is not for you. Turn it off. Okay? Landon, have you turned it off yet? All right, here we go. Let's do this. I'm looking at this audio. It does appear that it is coming through to you guys.
With all kinds of people still.
It's not long before the investigators come in here. Looking at her body language here, I do have to say she does look a little weary, right? A little broken. Of course, by this point, her daughter had been missing for 3, almost 4 days. And they had talked several times. They'd had to stay in a hotel. Daughter's missing, doesn't know what's going on. I honestly believe, while we're waiting for investigators to come in here, guys, that Jen Soto was, and I know that some of you are angry at me using the term pimping, but I feel like it is a good description of what was happening. I do think that she was offering up her daughter to Stephen Stearns, because I just don't feel like she could have not known what was going on when she was sending her daughter to his bedroom alone. I just have a hard time believing that. Now I know that like Natalie and Angelica, Natalie's been a friend of hers for a long time. She didn't believe that, so I could be wrong, but that's the way it feels like to me.
My name's Kevin. I work for the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I'm going to be back Detective Smallwood from the city. The goal, obviously, Kissimmee Police Department's doing most of this investigation. We're at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Our people, we have resources out there, obviously doing active. So it's kind of a joint effort. So Detective Smallwood is kind of ready to read through the timeline of everything else. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, let's go from there. All right.
You want me to go through the whole timeline?
Yeah, we'll start with Sunday. Take you through Sunday.
Okay. Sunday. Here's that tissue.
Yes, ma'am. I should have grabbed some. So actual tissues?
That'll work.
I can give you this whole roll.
So Sunday, birthday party. She spent the whole day at my mom's house. We celebrated with the whole family. I was at work. I just started a new job last week or the week before.
Okay. Where's that at?
Walt Disney World at Coronado Springs, front desk concierge.
Okay.
I was finishing up my last day of, no, it wasn't even my last day of training. I was still in the middle of training. Sunday in the middle of training, I couldn't miss to go to her birthday party. So I went to work.
Okay.
Was with my family all day. She had the best day. She was so happy when I got home and I saw her. At my house around 8:30 that night. I wasn't home. She got dropped off alone. About 10 to 15 minutes later, Stephen showed up.
At your house in Kissimmee?
At my house in Kissimmee, he called me. Or he texted me, I'm not sure. But he let me know he was there and that she was getting ready for bed. She was doing her routine. So she took her nighttime meds and she got in the shower to get ready for bed.
What meds? What does she take?
She takes hydroxyzine.
Okay. What is it for?
It's for anxiety and for sleep.
Okay.
Now, could she take that by herself, or would he have given that to her?
I think she took it by herself. She got home and she had already taken it.
How do you know that?
That's what he told me.
That's what he told you. Okay.
He was there when you got home? You got home, they were already at the apartment? Okay.
I don't like her taking her meds without somebody visually watching her, because I don't want her to accidentally grab the wrong pill. She's comfortable enough to grab the pill while, but I'm like, no, I need to watch you take them.
Has there ever been an issue with that in the past, where she took too many or took the wrong thing? Or
Yeah.
just like a thought in your mind?
No, just a thought in my mind, just me being hypervigilant. I want to physically watch her take her meds and watch her grab two, take them. I don't ever want there to be an accident of she took too many, or my biggest fear is that she would take Adderall by accident.
Good point, Chrissy.
Her daytime meds.
Got it.
I got home around 10:30. I started getting ready for bed myself. I started eating and taking my meds, because I have to take meds. When I went to take my meds, I realized, oh my God, I forgot to take my Saturday night's meds, which is why I felt so weird and so abnormal and not myself Sunday while I was at work. Everyone at work noticed I was acting different and not being myself. Like, I couldn't smile in front of the guests. I felt this wave of depression that I hadn't felt in years. It was my bipolar symptoms coming up again that I've been medicating myself for all this time. I realized I forgot to take my meds, and I said, you guys, I need a good night's sleep. I need to take my meds. I sent them to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom so that I could get a good night's sleep. Suggested that we all sleep together in the same bed together, but not the easiest person to sleep with. She rolls around, she punches, she kicks. We have a king size bed, and she typically sleeps on one side, and she'll end up on my side when we wake up.
Okay.
So I asked her, I'm like, no, please, I need a good night's sleep. If you guys can go upstairs and let me sleep. I had asked Stefan to take her to school in the morning.
We'll go to Sunday. So Sunday you took your meds. What meds, if you don't mind me asking, what meds do you take? And like, how does it, do they put you to sleep deep? Does it help you fall asleep or does it help regulate you? What kind of happens?
Okay. And I told you guys that I wouldn't interrupt, but just real quick, so her excuse for wanting the good night's sleep was that she had missed a day of her meds and she wasn't feeling herself. That's what I'm getting from this, right?
So they do all of the above. They make me sleepy. They help me stay asleep, and they help me function. So I'm stable all day. They only work well if I've got a good night's sleep and if I've eaten with them the night before when I take them, or the night I take them. The medication is called Geodon. Generic brand is called Zifrazidone. I took my meds, and then I told them to start getting ready for bed, to start heading upstairs and get ready because it was already almost 11 o'clock. It's past her bedtime. She needs to go to sleep. So I sent them upstairs. I think he may have come down at one point to pee before bed, and then he went back upstairs. He uses my restroom because the roommates upstairs don't want to share a restroom with a male.
Okay.
Yeah, so he uses my restroom.
I wonder why.
Sorry, where are you?
You're fine. Sunday night he came downstairs, maybe overnight to use the restroom.
Yeah, and then he went back upstairs and they went to sleep. Or where I think they went to sleep.
Okay.
I think they went to sleep.
I went to sleep. I was woken up at some time. For the longest time, I've been saying he woke me up at 8 o'clock in the morning because I assumed he was taking her to school and getting ready for school. But in reality, I don't know what time he woke me up. The sun was out a little bit. It was still a little dark. And I was very sleepy when I got up. I was kind of drunk. But he came in to walk the dog, to put the leash on the dog and walk him.
Was the dog in the room with you?
Yes.
So did he wake you up on purpose, or was it just kind of like the causation of him opening the door and you realizing somebody was there?
Yeah, the causation of him putting the leash on the dog, because the way the dog reacted, he gets very nervous and will urinate if you put the leash on him too directly. You have to like be nice and talk to him. He's very he's a nervous dog, yeah. So I got up to try to help him and he said, No, go back to sleep. I'm fine, I got this. And I said, You sure? I said, yeah. So I laid back down and went to sleep. I heard noise in the kitchen, but I'm not sure who it could have been. Getting ready, but it could have been Stefan, it could have been any of my roommates. I fell asleep again, and I didn't wake up, I think, until 9 o'clock in the morning.
Did you ever leave the bedroom in that time frame?
Yeah.
So he came in, you were kind of awoken up based on him interacting with the dog, but you stayed in bed, you didn't leave the bedroom. So if you woke up at like 9, so you never...
That morning.
Monday morning.
No.
So the last time you would have been Sunday evening?
Sunday.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I want to see her. Yeah.
Take a minute. Okay? While you take a minute, I was going to ask you earlier, has anybody reached out to you during the time that you've been investigating this? Talk about add anything else? Negative, positive, neutral?
My best friends have all been in contact with me, just trying to help me. They were like, setting up Facebook groups, flyers.
I noticed that too, Angel.
No negative interactions with the public or anything? Nobody's like reached out with tips or accusations or anything like that?
Not that I've seen. I've been avoiding social media because my family's telling me to not go on.
Would you be okay with our digital people looking at your phone to verify there's no stuff coming into socials, texts, things like that?
That's fine.
Do you have the phone?
Yeah.
What they'll do is they'll plug it in, they'll do a forensic download of it so they have the data. That way they can go through it and say, we did receive things, we didn't receive things, here's the communications in and out, things like that, so we can verify that for you.
That's fine.
Do you have a password on it?
030288.
030288. Perfect.
Is that a birthday?
My birthday.
It's your birthday?
Yeah.
My birthday's tomorrow. Right.
Today's the first. I didn't even know. This is the worst birthday ever.
I don't know if they're fake. I mean, if she knows she lost her daughter at this point, I know they haven't found the body, but if she knows, well, she knows what Stefan's been doing. Maybe she knows that her daughter's dead. Maybe they're real tears. Both things can be true at the same time.
That way they can get that going so we can get it back to you before we're out here. We don't keep it from you.
Okay.
So you said about 9 o'clock on Monday, you wake up.
Yeah. I wake up. I have a doctor's appointment. I leave sometime between 9:30 and 9:45. And I head over there. It's blood work appointment. The appointment's for 10:15, but they take a while to see me.
Where was your appointment at?
LabCorp. And do you want me to tell you exactly which one?
Sure.
Oh wait, I have my phone.
When we get it back, we'll get back to it.
It's, if you need to Google it, it's the LabCorp across the street from the Loop in Kissimmee.
Okay, got it.
Had my appointment. I finished there sometime between 11:15. Then I headed home. When I got home, Stefan was there. I had talked to him a little bit earlier while I was waiting for my blood work appointment, and he let me know, oh, I'm so sorry, I left my phone at home by accident. School, everything went great. She got up super early, got up really quick. She slept most of the way in the car. I asked her multiple times if she wanted McDonald's, but she said no. Because that was the plan, was that they were going to stop at McDonald's that morning to go get breakfast.
Right.
He said that he had gone to the vape shop and they were closed and they didn't open. So he waited there for a while and left.
The whole vape shop thing
And then said he was going to go back later.
makes no sense whatsoever.
When I saw him at the house, everything was normal. We were chatting, we were talking. He was acting normal. He was sitting in my computer chair just messing around on his phone. While we were hanging out, he mentioned something along the lines of, oh man, I've been avoiding this phone update for a really long time. I should probably update it now. And I said, do it. Don't avoid it. Just get it over with. And he updates his phone. And then
She
tells
used
me,
the air quotes.
oh my god, I don't know what button I just pressed, but I just factory reset my entire phone. And I said, how the hell does that happen? That gives you options now when you reset your phone? He goes, yeah, apparently I wasn't paying attention and I just pressed the button and it happened. And I said, oh, that's unfortunate. That sucks.
It's a good observation, Aida.
Later on, he tells me he's going to go back out, and I think this is around 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Still on Monday?
Yes, still
Okay.
Monday. 12:30 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He tells me he's going to go back out. He's going to stop at a few gaming shops. And then he'll meet me at the house at 2:30 so we can get together. He left. I hung out in the house for a while. Was waiting for 2:30 to roll around. 2:30 rolls around, and I'm already calling Stefan, and he's not picking up his phone.
Hey, Tracy. Yeah, I'm going to pause for just a second. I agree that in the way that Stefan Stearns was treated, in the way that Jen Soto is being treated, I think the Osceola County Sheriff's Office should be very proud of their detectives. These guys are pros. They're acting professionally. They're acting sympathetically and empathetically. They're getting the information that they want. Yeah, this is good work for sure.
2:30 comes. I leave. About 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from him going, I just got back home. I left my phone home again. I'm so sorry. How long ago did you leave? And I said, about 10 minutes ago. He goes, I'm so sorry. I missed it. I really wanted to go with you. And I'm just like, it's fine. I figured he wasn't going to make it because when I looked at the time when he left and said he was going to visit 3 shops, I didn't think he had enough time to visit them. He told me while he was gone that he got a flat tire somewhere on 182. The wheel just shredded and fell apart. So he was changing the tire, and it took him a really long time to do it. He said he hurt his thumb while changing the tire, like the frame or something slipped and something pinched his finger, and he ended up having to yank it out. And he said he hurt his finger.
To me, that always felt like a rehearsed thing. The whole, this is how his hands got hurt.
When you were calling him, he eventually told you that he left his phone there. Did you hear the phone at the house?
No. If it was anywhere, it would have been upstairs and I wouldn't have heard it. It would have been in the guest
Do
bedroom.
you typically go upstairs?
Who, me?
Yes.
Only from doing laundry.
That was all. I was just curious if you had heard the phone when you were trying to call him that day.
I didn't. So he tells me all that. I get off the phone with him.
Yeah,
Wait for about
guys, I'm very grateful for the super chats and super stickers, and I will acknowledge those and go through those in just a bit.
an hour and 10 minutes. 4:04, the bell rings, and I'm waiting. I'm the first in line. And she doesn't come out.
You were in your car?
I was in my car, in the car line, yeah. At this point, it's been a few minutes. She should have been out by now because she's usually one of the first kids out. She knows I'm in the front line. And I'm holding up the line behind me because there's kids getting in the cars behind and they're all waiting. They can't get around me, right? So I start calling her, forgetting that I have her phone on me. I had found her phone earlier that morning. She had left it at home. And I brought it with me because she does this often. She does leave her phone.
Where was the phone at in the house?
It was on top of...
I don't know if I believe the whole phone thing either. I mean, I know that it's in the documents. I know that it's kind of all over this case, but a 13-year-old forgetting their phone, just even if they are suffering from ADHD and stuff like that, I never fully really believed that is the truth, I guess.
The dresser in her bedroom.
Downstairs? I never been in your house.
Downstairs.
Okay.
So, just so you know, I have a 4-bedroom townhouse.
Go ahead.
The living room has a partition in it, a fake wall kind of thing. That's got her bedroom in it. That's got a bed, a dresser, and a desk on it. Does she sleep there? No. She'll hang out there. She'll use her computer and hang out there. That's her hangout spot.
Then why does she have a bed?
She primarily sleeps with me every night in my bed. That's because I know the roommates wake up super early in the morning. They're going to be in the kitchen. They're going to wake her up if she's sleeping out in the living room. So I don't.
So your bedroom downstairs.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Guest bedroom.
No, hold on just a second. I promised you guys I wouldn't interrupt, but now I'm interrupting. Okay. The story that was told before was that she Madeline needed to sleep with someone, right? She needed the human touch. And then we got another story that was Jen needed the human touch. She needed to sleep with someone. But now what Jen is saying is she didn't want Madeline to sleep in that bed there because the roommates got up early and they would wake her up. Like, yeah, I think we got too many stories here, right? If Madeline doesn't sleep in her bedroom area, why is there a bed there? If she primarily sleeps with Jen, why is there a bed there? It makes no sense. I mean, I don't understand it at all. But maybe I lack imagination. I don't know.
Upstairs.
Yes.
Got it.
Her phone was on her dresser. When I found it, I was like, oh my God, she's on your phone again. It's great. I brought it with me to the school because I was just going to yell at her and then just hand it to her so she could have something to do on our way home.
That's possible.
On our way home. 4:10 rolls around and she's still not out, or 4:09. And then at this point, I'm feeling the pressure from the cars behind me. I'm like, okay, they're all full. They're all waiting for me to leave and she's not here yet. So I take off and I'm thinking, maybe I missed her. Maybe I forgot to tell her I was picking her up from school today because I don't know if she knew that I wasn't working. I don't know if she knew if I was off. So I asked, I don't know if I told her that I was going to get her. So I left thinking maybe she walked. That's pretty close to school. If I can't pick her up at school, that's where I tell her to go. I drove the path she would have walked. I didn't see her. I got to the office. And she goes, no, it's a little too early. And I said, okay, let me go drive back down and wait along the path she would walk and just wait. And I parked and I waited. I waited. I'm not sure how long I waited. Maybe somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes. She still wasn't there, and I looked at the time and I'm like, okay, she should be back at my mom's office by now. Maybe she took a different path and I didn't see. So I went, no, she's still not here. And I'm like, that's really strange. So I call. I don't know if I text or I call.
You've talked me into it, Money.
And I asked, hey, or I called. No, I called her. I asked, and she said, no, she didn't make it to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean? She was dropped off close to the school. She should have been in school. She goes, no, she didn't make it to first, second period. I said, please check with the rest of your friends, see if she made it to any of her other periods.
It's a good comment, Loon.
At some point in this, I emailed one of her teachers asking, I actually emailed a few of her teachers and 2 of them responded. One of them said, no, she did not make it to class, and I checked her attendance for the rest of the day. She wasn't in school at all. Like, he sent me a screenshot of like her attendance and it said 0, 0, 0.
You still have that on the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
If you need to know what app, I'll tell you what app. It's a special school app.
Got it.
Great comment, Dana.
He said she was missing all day. And at this point, I start to panic and freak out because that can't
Okay,
be.
so this is one of the questions that I've had for a long time. Like in our school district, we have kids in school. We get notified if they are not in school. And we get text messages. And there's this whole system that is set up so that we know if our children are in school or not. And that, like right now, the kids that we have in school are in elementary school. But even when we had them in high school, if one of our kids attempted to skip a class, we would know. So she just said there's an app here, that there's an app. I don't know if notifications aren't turned on or something like that, but this has been something that's been bothering me since the beginning. How do you not know your daughter's not in school in today's day and age? Like, kids today don't have the benefit that we had when, well, I had when I was in school, where I could do whatever it was that I wanted as long as I got good grades and my parents didn't get mad at me, right? But that answered a question. Okay, so supposedly there's an app that would tell her whether her child is in school or not. Okay, we're 25 minutes in. Now is a good time, as good a time as any, with super chats for those that are new to me. And it looks like, man, Susie Koo's taking care of me. I like to actually read them aloud. So here we go. We've got Pauline Buckles sent a super sticker, $3. Thank you very much, Pauline. Unfortunately, my system doesn't show me the actual sticker, it just describes it. Thank you very much. Susie Q says, my own mother is like this. They turn a blind eye and refuse to acknowledge what is actually going on until it suits their own personal needs. She had no real emotional, maybe, connection to her daughter, something like that. If you can't emotionally connect and protect your child, give them to someone who can. That, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people in this world who have children who don't have those parental instincts, right? And it's sad for those children. I think about this frequently, man. I was just when I was in London, I was, at CrimeCon UK. I was there with my daughter, and I was chatting with a former FBI agent who is married to also a former FBI agent. They're two special agents that are husband and wife. And, I was just kind of chatting them up because my uncle was a special agent with the FBI. And then I told him the story of when my dad got the Director's Community Service Award, and we all went out to DC and went to the J. Edgar Hoover building and watched him get this award. And he told me the whole thing. He's like, I am the person. I worked in public affairs. I was there that day. I am the one that does those awards. It was really great. The reason I was telling you about that is, like, I think about this all the time, that I was born to a family who loved and cared about each other deeply. And there are so many people that just don't have that connection. They, like, even people who are close to me. I always say that I won the family lottery the day I was born, right? I got a mom and dad who loved each other, loved all of my siblings. I was number 4, and cared for us, and raised us, and cared for each other. It was the lottery. Not very many people have that. And I think poor Maddie just didn't. She just, in her, now I'm not saying that none of her family loved her, like her grandparents, everybody around them. I'm sure they all loved her. But the capability of caring for her just doesn't seem like Jen had it. And that brings me to another comment that was here that was really good, that I hadn't thought about before. Did I favorite that? I thought I did. It was about, sometimes they will, it's like a farce. They will make a bed so that if CPS is ever called, you can say, hey, my children have beds. It was something like that. So, which was a really good comment. And I probably showed it on the screen, but didn't go through it. So let me go through a couple of these other comments that I starred here real quick. Sherry B says, I don't understand the Google Drive. How does it exist? Couldn't he have retrieved Google Drive images by phone and erased them? Yeah. So I think so. All right. Google Drive is a cloud service that you can upload files to. You can connect to it through a web browser. You can connect to it through an app. When he reset his phone, he did not delete everything that was on the cloud. He just deleted everything that was on the phone. And that's actually a misnomer, because he really didn't delete anything that was on the phone. All of that is probably downloaded via Cellbrite. He was just trying to cover his tracks. Now, when he reset his phone and he signed back into Google, it was an Android phone, remember? Then it reconnected to the drive, and then via his phone, officers could browse to his Google Drive and find those images and videos. Hopefully that explained that okay, Sherry. Marie Self, Gavin, I was wondering what you thought about Jen's text she made saying, Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. I started that because I don't remember that text. I don't know what, like, I've gone through so many of these documents. I don't even remember what that one was about. So I'm afraid I can't answer that question very well. Gavin, do they have tissues in the soft room, or was this purposeful? To give her like paper towels? Maybe that's possible. It's possible that, or it could be it's just a couple of dudes. It's like I'm just gonna try to get something that she can use. Maybe, I don't know. Rose Thorne, why didn't Maddie sleep on her living room bed that night? That is the question of the century for me. I don't get it. I mean, she gave the excuse. Stefan made another excuse. Stefan's parents made a different excuse. So I don't know. Deanna says, I don't get the school didn't get in touch. My son's a senior and they make sure they contact me if he's not there. Yeah, same thing. Same thing in my school district. If they miss a class, not just an entire day, if they miss a class, I know about it. Baptized by fire, Gavin, have they said what the cause of death is? Yes, cause of death is strangulation. Good question. Let's see. Looks like there's another super chat. Gavin, how are you not checking socials or messages to see if anyone has information unless she already knew she was dead and she's so self-absorbed? That is a very good observation. That's a very good observation. Yeah, it does seem like everybody around her is willing to go do the actions to try to find her daughter, and Jen is figuratively, bundling up in the fetal position, rocking back and forth in the corner. That's kind of the way it seems to me. Great comment. All right, let's head back over to the video. We will continue for another little bit. Here we go.
She was dropped off. I had to go check her attendance at school, but the office had closed already. The lights were off. I could see a student sitting in there in the darkness, but I couldn't see any of the administrators or anybody in the office. Lights were off, everything was closed. They wouldn't allow me in. I think at this point the teacher had responded to me and told me she didn't make it to school at all. I start having like a freak out panic attack.
Ooh.
Are you still just you at this point? Is it you and Stefan?
It's me and my sister. And I want to say one of them is Catherine. I start panicking, and I think at this point I call Stefan and I tell him, hey, because she didn't make it. She's absent today. There's no attendance of her at all today.
Let me pause this for Shin's koala comment here real quick. Gazella thinks that Maddie was killed in Jen's room. Croc was in there downstairs, easier to move, etc. Kind of makes sense. What do you think? Yeah, let's go over to the website, guys. This is Jen's bedroom, and you see that right there? That is the Croc. Get up closer to it. There it is right there. Get up closer, I think. Yeah. There's the missing white Croc. And man, Gazella is so good. She is very good. Yeah, if we go down to the dumpster search, here is the other Croc. So she thinks that Madeline was killed in Jen's bedroom. Oh, that just sent chills down my spine. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's why she's so great. Let's continue. Great comment.
Right now. And he said, okay, I'll be there. And he came to the office. And there for like 3 hours, I think. Eventually I contact one of my friends whose husband works or ex-husband works for OCP or for you guys.
Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I messaged him and I talked to him and I asked him what I should be doing because you guys aren't responding quick enough.
Would you know his name? Where he works?
Yes. Nick Mann.
Okay.
Or Mahon.
Do you know what he does here?
I think he works for SWAT.
Okay.
Sure.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tell you
that
way.
one.
I can't remember anymore. I think he let us know that there were other kids missing in the area, which is why you guys weren't responding quick enough. I think an 8 and a 9-year-old had gone missing around the same time too. In a playground, they forgot to tell. They didn't tell their mom they were going to the playground or something like that. So all the cops were over there on that side of Hunters Creek. My sister's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever he is, thought it would be a good idea to go to the park and talk to a cop there and see if he could bring a cop back, and that's what he did.
Okay.
And then at that point, that's when the cops started asking us questions, taking a report. Interviewing me, they interviewed Stefan. They asked Stefan to take them back to the location where he dropped them off, and he showed them wherever he dropped her off. They were looking for cameras along the path, and I don't think they found any cameras along the way. So these are the video recordings. I think.
Did Stefan go with them in their patrol cars, or did he drive himself and they followed? How did that work?
I think he went with them in the patrol car.
Okay.
Then they came back. Then that's it. Everything was done. The cops were done. We were done.
What time? You remember what time that was on Monday?
It was after dark. It was say 8 o'clock.
What did you guys go do after that?
We were in separate cars, me and Stefan.
Okay.
I ugly cried on the way home. I shouldn't have been driving. But I ugly cried on the way home, and I went straight home. And then the first thing I did was call Fox 35 News to see if we can, air some missing children information out there.
When you say ugly crying, just overly emotional tears, makeup running, or is there what is your meaning of ugly crying?
Sobbing where I couldn't see the road, and I shouldn't have been driving, I was swerving.
Makes sense. Did Fox 35 come out to your house, or what was their response?
They responded the following day. I think we did a Zoom video interview.
Oh, Don.
Did Stefan follow you home?
I don't know if he followed me, but
Wow.
he drove home, yeah.
I mean, was it within a reasonable time when you got there?
Yes. Drove home. We waited there. We didn't know what to do. I stayed up late. I think I called Fox 35. What else did I do?
She called Fox 35?
I had to eventually eat and take my medication. He told me he was going to go out.
That's actually a little suspicious to me if she's reaching out to the media. That's one of those things that I don't know why it's suspicious to me. It's something that Chris Watts would do. It's kind of how it feels to me. She called Fox 35.
Cruising that night to go look for her. And I said, I even questioned that. I asked him, are you sure it's a good idea? You should probably sit tight. Let's just wait to see if she comes home. And he said he was going to take a drive out.
I agree, TJ.
I had completely forgotten about him wanting to take the drive or that he actually did it. And it wasn't confirmed to me until the following day where agents came to the house and we sat in the car for a good amount of time, and I noticed the chair was adjusted. And I said, "Did you drive my car?" And he said, "Yeah, remember I said I was going out last night?" That's right, you did say that.
Can he tell you where he looked?
I think he said up and down 192, and I said, "Why there?" And he's like, "I don't know, I'm just looking. I was just trying to look anywhere." And I'm just like, okay.
Did he say if you found anything or talked to anybody, or just roamed?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I agree, Kathy.
When you were getting ready for bed, you were tired, emotional. Were you falling asleep when he left, or were you already asleep when he left?
I was already asleep when he left.
Okay. Did you sleep downstairs? Yeah. In your bedroom? When you woke up, was he already awake, or was he still sleeping?
He was asleep in his bedroom upstairs.
The guest bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you take your medication?
I don't think so, Pineapple.
I did.
What did you guys do Tuesday? Or just you? If you're not together, you're not together. What's the timeline on Tuesday?
Tuesday, he slept. I woke up early and started making phone calls to like the National Hotline for Missing and Exploited Children. I called the number that the sheriff's office had given me to see if they had any information, and they let me know that she was like the what did she say she was? I don't remember what she said her position was, but she had just gotten into the office and was just starting to work on it, so she didn't have anything new for me. Her name was Bonnie Mitchell, I remember that. She asked me to send her some photos.
Ooh, that guy's checking his Apple Watch. He's getting texts that looks like that are important. And remember that within a few hours of this, they actually found Madeline's body. So maybe he's getting texts saying, we're here, we're there, we're going to different places.
The National Exploited Children's Hotline Police asked me for photos as well. I think at this point...
that actually reminds me of something. Guys, in this entire case, and again, I might be like, maybe this is nothing. But Madeline is 13 years old when she died, right? So she was born in 2011. What family doesn't have just tons of pictures of their children in today's day and age? Like these pictures that I have of Madeline are not like what have I found? 6 of them, but I have spent so much time in Photoshop just trying to make them good photos of her, without going crazy. But it is a job to get photos of Madeline Soto, and it shouldn't be in 2024. If you have a 13-year-old child, there should be so many photos of her. To me, that is an indication that life isn't fun or life isn't enjoyable or something. I was just talking with somebody about the Ellen Greenberg case. Ellen Greenberg died in 2011, and yet there are hundreds of photos of her that we have, right? Why in Madeline's case is it so difficult to get just a decent photo of Madeline Soto? And to me, it just screams that life wasn't happy enough to try to capture memories. But again, I might be wrong. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that observation.
I had asked my friends and family to start contacting news outlets to try to get as much attention on this as possible. I had a lot of phone calls coming in, and I was picking all of them up, hoping that any of them could help me. But it ended up being news reporters or people who had seen my phone on the my phone number on a flyer and was trying to give me suggestions. Somebody letting me know that they took flyers all the way to Orlando International Airport and posted them all over the place in case she was being trafficked. They suggested that I go to Amtrak and Greyhound. I had my sister making all these runs for me. I didn't leave the house to do any of this.
Stefan's still asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Eventually.
And actually, that's something that Stefan's dad talked about, how when he checked him into the hotel, I guess Stefan went driving all night long. And he went all sorts of places, right? And then he slept through the following day. It was as if he knew what had happened already and didn't need to be bothered with getting news.
Reporters come to the house and do an interview. And at this point, Stefan was awake. I did an interview with them. And then Stefan was crying in the background. And I said, Stefan, do you want to do the interview? You can if you want. And I sat in front of the camera and did an interview where he cried.
Do you know which news outlet that was with? I know there's a video on Fox 35
with him sitting
to be on like a webcam.
Yeah, that was Zoom. He was sitting in the background for me. Okay. I know
but
that one.
You had in-person interviews with reporters?
Yes. I want to say it was Channel 9.
Okay.
Yeah, Channel 9.
And he spoke to them?
Yes.
Okay.
And he ugly cried in front of the camera too, so he was fucking fake sob crying.
Are you saying that now, or do you?
I'm saying that now. I didn't think that at the time. At the time, I thought he was truly heartbroken and not that he had done all this shit to her.
Hey, this is, I'm actually detecting notes of anger towards Stefan Stearns here. And remember, she has seen some of the photos that were on his Google Drive at this point. She still doesn't know that her daughter is dead.
Like, I look back at shit now and just like, he was fucking lying. He was fucking faking. What else has he been lying to me about? I know he's like a master liar and manipulator because he's done it to his parents and he's told me and shown me the lies he's done to his parents. But I don't know why I never thought, not me.
The lies are about money, they're about where he's at, what he's doing. What's he?
Yeah, all that.
To his parents?
Yeah, he's stolen money from his parents. They used to have a few $1,000s hidden in like a closet for emergency fund kind of thing. And during COVID, he stole, like, he wanted RC cars. See, if he wants something, he's gonna get it. No matter what. So, he wanted RC vehicles. They were remote control cars. Fancy ones. They were a few $100s. And I'm poor. I know I can't afford it. And he's showing up at home with these things. And I asked him, where are you getting the money from? Because we don't have this money. He goes, oh, my dad. And I said, your dad gave you money? He goes, no, I took some from his closet. And I was like they have an emergency stash? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, he's going to notice money's missing. And he's like, no, he won't. It's so much money in there, he won't notice at all. I've confirmed with Chris later on that he did notice money, but he never asked his son. But I let him know, yeah, he was robbing you and just buying himself toys. He's also lied. Most recently, he lied to his parents about where he would be. He told them he would be at his friend's house playing video or board games or something like that, but in reality, he came all the way to Kissimmee to hang out with us.
Okay. But you guys were together Wednesday? After all the interviews, did he stay Wednesday? Would you? I know
yes.
We had some detectives go meet you guys Wednesday, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Were you guys in the house together until the detectives came?
Yes.
What kind of happened after the detectives came?
Do you feel like everything starts to get blurry?
Oh, I get it. Trust me. We've been in this office for like 3 days straight.
Yeah, so I just don't remember what day I had conversation with you guys.
Tuesday night, Orange County detectives came out there because I ended up coming out Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember seeing me or not that night.
Okay.
That was the first night we were at the apartment into the nighttime.
Yeah, is that when you guys shut down the house for forensics?
Yes.
Okay. So
tell us about that.
Okay. So earlier that day, I think Detective Hunt came, or somebody came,
Great comment,
and asked Stefan for his cell phone. If he would willingly give it up so that they can look at it, or if they would need a warrant. And I remember him saying, should I have asked a warrant? Should I have... And I'm like, no, if you got nothing to hide, give them your fucking phone. And I think we hung out in the house for a little bit, and then when you guys came in the evening, and you guys told us to wait outside, and we waited in my car, he started getting very anxious and very panicky, going, I want my phone back. I want my phone back. And I said, listen, at this point, it's their phone. It's theirs for fucking ever. I don't give a shit. We will buy you a new phone. It doesn't matter anymore. Whatever they need, they need. Like, let them look at it. And he's like, I just want my phone back. And I'm just like, are you trying to make yourself more suspicious? Because, like, if you were to go demand your phone back right now, that would look suspicious as fuck. Like, what are you doing? I'm thinking he's just getting impatient because he's bored and wants to play on his phone. And at one point, he takes my phone to start playing with it. I give it up. And I said, here, play on my phone. Have fun. Because I think from my phone, he was trying to log into his emails, but he couldn't. Because you need like 2-factor authentication from your own phone. And I'm just like, what are you trying to look at? And he's like, oh, my shipments, my packages. He's addicted to buying shit. That's another thing. Me and his dad couldn't figure out where Stefan was getting money from to buy stuff since he's been unemployed the last 2 months, but he's constantly buying himself packages. Buying himself things off Amazon, buying himself things off the line.
Is this stuff you can confirm, or you think he's doing this?
What?
Buying packages.
I can confirm because I am linked to his Amazon account.
Okay.
And his parents can confirm whatever UPS packages or whatever he's getting at home. But I'm linked to his Amazon account. If you guys have my phone, you'll see whatever shipment. I think most recently I did like birthday party. If you see birthday party stuff, that was me. But everything else, him.
So now she's suspicious
He's
about where he's getting money.
Stuff, and he doesn't have money. He keeps.
But why wasn't she suspicious of this before? Right? Why wasn't she saying, "Hey, where are you getting all this money to buy these things?" So yeah, I'm calling BS on this. She knew where the money was coming from. She had to have known where the money was coming from. The same way she had to have known what was happening to her daughter when she would send her up to Stefan's room alone. I'm even wondering if the times when the 3 of them were in bed together, if there wasn't something going on. Like I'm just very suspicious of this person. It seems to me like she's deflecting as much as she can onto Stefan, but she knows enough. I just think she does. So I am very sorry to agree with these guys. Like, here I am, I'm agreeing with the Stearns. But yeah, I think that Jen, I really want her to be arrested. I really do.
And he's got money in his savings, but me and his dad called bullshit because he hasn't had, when he lived with us, he was struggling. His dad was helping him pay his bills, paying his rent, paying his gas, paying his insurance. Stefan was helping us, supporting us by buying food and all that stuff. But I don't know what he did with the rest of his money. And I don't know where he's getting money from now.
Okay. You were telling us that he was trying to log into his emails.
So he's trying to log into his emails on his phone. And I said, 2-factor authentication, you can't do anything. You're just going to have to wait till you get your phone back. We waited in the car. I think at this point, when I noticed that forensics was locking down the house and you guys said we couldn't come back, I told him to call his dad. Because I had a feeling y'all knew something and it was going to come down on him. And I'm just like, they're focusing on the wrong person. They have the wrong person. In my head, I'm convinced you guys are that you had the wrong person. I wanted to think that he was good.
Before we get ahead of that, what is the conversation like between you two when you're in the car? Because y'all were in there for a good while we were trying to figure things out at your apartment complex or your condo. What's the conversation like inside that car?
Great comment, Thumper.
I'm trying to think back to what exactly we were talking about. I know
Yeah, these are good cops. This is a good interview. She's just vomiting.
I remember late in the evening, like when you guys let us know we couldn't come back, and I called his dad, or we called his dad.
No, I do not.
I started saying to him, like, I think they're focusing in on you. Like, we need to call your dad, and I think we need to get you a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
feel like they're
waffling
focusing
so
on
much,
the wrong
Jenny.
person. And he kept saying the same thing. He kept repeating what I was repeating. That
I had been in the past.
they're focusing on the wrong person. They're wasting time there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
How did he feel when you said he needs a lawyer?
He didn't believe me. Like, when I told him, like, don't you see forensics is closing down the house? They fucking know something, or there's something, like, they know something. Something's happening. They wouldn't be locking down.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that, Chrissy. Yeah, not only was Stefan spending money, but yeah, she had a $300 Botox appointment for her headaches, apparently. But yeah, so she was also spending money.
House this way if
Like,
they didn't have to.
Let me just put it this way. Like, nobody in my family has ever had Botox. Like, not because it's not something that we don't look down on it. There might be somebody who wants it in my family, but it's expensive. And here we've got a so-called working poor little family unit that is spending money like crazy.
Suspicions of something. But I wasn't thinking, I don't know why I wasn't thinking him. Like, I was just like, no, they've got the wrong guy. He just kept saying that they have the wrong guy, that
I'll have to check that text.
They're focusing on the wrong person and that we're wasting time and
I agree.
we call his dad. We tell his dad to come down here, and his dad did come down here and met us at a hotel. That was another thing. I don't have that much money. I live off of disability. I couldn't afford to put us up on a hotel. Like, when you guys said that we couldn't return, I was like, I didn't know where to go. I was trying to think if any family member would have a spare room or anything like that, and not that I could take the three of us, when I say three of us, I mean him and the dog. And I know at my mom's house, we wouldn't have been welcome. My mom does not like Stefan. She's never liked Stefan.
Yeah, I wonder why. Why she doesn't.
I knew that our only option was to go to a hotel, but I couldn't afford it. So we called Chris, and Chris met us at a hotel by Disney, off of Western Way, and that's where we went. We got there pretty late. We checked in. I used the restroom, and I was getting ready for bed, or laying down in bed probably around 3:30, 3:45 in the morning, and I fell asleep. Stefan was already asleep at this point.
Did you go straight to sleep when you got in, or just kind of drifted off as you were falling asleep? Like you went to the bathroom, did you go straight to bed?
He was already in bed before I went to the bathroom. I was on my phone for a little bit. He was laying in bed snoozing. I went to use the restroom. I was in the restroom for quite a while because I had like a terrible sub. When I came back out, he was asleep. At least I thought he was asleep. But
His dad stayed with you guys?
not in the hotel room. He stayed in a different room on the same floor.
Okay.
The following morning, I wake up, I think around 9 o'clock in the morning, and Stefan's not there. And I remember thinking, he left again without his phone and didn't tell anyone where he was going. That's suspicious as fuck again. Why is he trying to?
But we took his phone, so he got a new phone?
He didn't get the new phone until later that day, where his dad woke up, came to our hotel room, and then handed him a phone.
Okay.
And said, here, have this phone in the meantime until you get your old phone back.
Yeah, Jill, she does.
Oh, so you're just saying he's out and about with no phone?
Yeah, he's out and about with no phone, so there's no way for us to contact him. There's no way for us to... I didn't know if he even knew how to get back to the hotel. Because I drove that night. He's a little oblivious to when it comes to directions. So I'm just like, he didn't even figure out how to get here. But he rolled in around 11:15. Rolled in with a cup of Wawa. And said, oh, I'm so sorry, I was just driving around. I grabbed some Wawa on 182 and got lost. I didn't know how to get back to the hotel. But I'm here now. And I'm just like, detectives are about to show up. What the fuck would have happened if they showed up and you weren't here? Like, you would have been a fugitive. Like, what are you doing? And he was just apologetic about not telling anyone where he went.
But you know, I mean, he had a Wawa cup and he said he was up at 192.
Yeah, but in reality, I know that he truly took my car in the middle of the night to Northport, Florida, and was down there for an hour and came back. I didn't suspect that at all.
Okay.
I literally thought, I'm like, oh, this man, we were right next to like a Target. So I'm thinking, oh, he's probably like stress shopping, just looking at stuff. He likes to browse. Or just like, maybe he's in there somewhere. But I didn't have a car. I couldn't go out looking, right? And also, detectives were coming, so I didn't want to leave. Detectives eventually show up. Actually, we were in the hotel room for a while. He went back to sleep and slept. I took a little snooze for a little bit that morning, and then I got up, and then I went downstairs to the lobby, and I saw Chris. And Chris asked if I wanted some lunch, so we went to the hotel bar and ate some lunch. We brought up some lunch back for Stefan, told him to eat a little bit. When he woke up, he took like 2 bites. Then detective showed up. We went downstairs. They let us know that there was a press conference happening, which we already had an idea was going to happen.
That's a good point, Cody.
And they told us they would give us a ride and escort us to the conference here, and that then you guys would let us in the back way so that media wouldn't see us. But in reality, now I know that was just to interview guys with us. But yeah, then we showed up here and got separated. Haven't heard from him since. Haven't spoken to him since. Have no interest in speaking to him at all. Yeah, that was it. Then we got interviewed.
What have you done since? Like, where did you go back to the hotel? Did you stay somewhere else?
No. So after the interview and all that stuff, Chris took me to my sister's house. I've been at my sister's house ever since.
Cool.
Yesterday I went out for a little bit to go to Target to try to take my mind off of things. I went to Target to go get myself a toothbrush and deodorant things that I didn't have because I left the house the last second. I also went to my ex-husband's wife's mom's house. It's complicated, but we're all friends.
So
Yeah. And they consoled me. They just kept me company. They made lunch. Then I went back to my sister's house. And I've just been pretty much there ever since now. When I went to Target, I decided, like, oh shit, I shouldn't be out in public. People could recognize me. It could either be good or bad, what people could tell me. I've already had people recognize me in my community, and dealing with people's heavy emotions and them coming to me and crying and telling me they're so sorry and how they feel is so heavy because like I just have to kind of stand there and take their emotions and like I don't know, it's so heavy. When I realize that these are the interactions.
It's so heavy. No, your daughter is still missing, madam. Your daughter is still missing. It's so heavy. Your daughter is still missing. And has been for what? A week at this point. Almost a week. Yeah, people recognize me. Yeah, I went to my ex-husband's wife's parents' house. It's complicated, but they consoled me. They recognize me. It's just so heavy. Madam, your daughter is still missing. Oh my goodness.
I was having in public, I'm like, I need to stay home because I can't carry anyone else's emotions right now. I have my own to deal with. Like I don't want my own mental health suffering right now. Or for me to spiral and end up back being hospitalized.
I just have to bite my tongue.
So when did you meet Stephen or Stephen?
I met Stephen in 2017. We both worked for Eco Homes, a real estate company. I did appointments, and he worked in the office doing like warranty work. We met as coworkers. We became really good friends. We were best friends for like a year. And then eventually I asked him if he wanted to hook up, and he said sure. And yeah.
You said 17, 18. Did you live in Orlando, Kissimmee? Where were you guys living then?
Kissimmee.
And did you guys live together in 17?
He technically lived at his parents' house, but he was staying at my house all the time.
Okay. Same house you're in now or a different house?
Wait, I take it back. In 2017, he wasn't staying over my house. It started in 2018 when we started hooking up, and he started sleeping over my house.
Okay.
And what was your next question?
Was that in the current
Yes.
house you live in now?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you lived in that house?
No,
On
I'm
and
holding
off.
it back.
Because at one point we moved close to where his parents live right now. They live in Northport, Florida, Sarasota County. I lived in Port Charlotte, which is Charlotte County, the county right next door. We had an apartment there for like 6 to 8 months. We moved down there because, again, Stephen was promised a job and that fell through. So we supported ourselves in this tiny apartment for a little while until I ran out of funds.
Do you remember what year that was?
2020.
So when did you live in Port Charlotte in 2020?
I don't remember what month I moved in, but I remember moving out in November.
Of 2020?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was some... maybe like April, May.
That's fine. There's something we can look up if we need to later.
Yeah.
17. In 2017, so 2018. 6. Her body.
Yeah, the whole thing is suspicious. So this is redacted. This isn't a mute problem, everybody. Okay, Boomer Gavin is here. This is a. I hope I was overlooking at the thing. They must be talking about Madeline and the sensitive kind of CSAM stuff. So it's redacted. Yeah. Great comments, guys. Let's this is a good spot. I'm going to go ahead and pause it here because we're about an hour into this and we've got about 2 hours and 45 minutes of video. So let's go over. I saw a couple of other super chats came in. Let's see. Yeah, PJ, always taking care of me. Thank you, Gavin and Jamie. Great discussion this evening. Thank you, PJ. There are a couple of other things that I favorited here. Janet says, do some of the 34,000 photos look like they were taken of her through FaceTime, like just of her changing clothes? I wonder about those bedtime faces. I don't know. I felt like the 34,000 photos were other digital files that he or they obtained. I've always felt like it didn't have anything to do with Maddie there, because if it did, there would, I think there would be a report that would say that, but I might be wrong. A lot of you guys probably know more about this case than I do. Shiny Star, I heard there was a missing pregnancy test. Yeah, and in one of the interviews with the roommate, I think it was Angelica, they talked about Maddie being late. Yeah, let's see. Susan Wright, Gavin. So he possibly killed her and then carried her to the car where there are cameras outside. It appears that cameras were only at the garbage, like dumpster, and at the gates. It doesn't seem like there were cameras anywhere in the vicinity of their townhome or where they parked the car. If there were, I haven't seen them in any reports. Gavin, have you heard about the French woman Giselle Pellicot? Wonder if this kind of thing is more common than we realize. I have not specifically heard about Ms. Pellicot, but I would imagine it is more common than we all want to believe. Jen McCabe's tooth. It's a very specific tooth that's talking to us here. It's Jen McCabe's tooth. It's a great handle. Gavin, I think Stephen Stearns gave Maddie Lunesta alongside hydroxyzine and it caused her death. His friend that mentioned Jen giving him Adderall also mentions Lunesta. Yeah, I'd like to see toxicology on that, but I believe the cause of death is strangulation, which is a little more angry than overdose. But maybe it will... maybe it'll come out as we go through the legal system. Tony, Gavin, don't you think Stefan would rat her out? I think is what you meant to say there. I think autocorrect messed that one up. Well, I know that Stefan Stern's mom, Deb, wants him to rat her out, and I don't know what his personal ethics are in this, or if he feels personally responsible even though they did it together. I don't know. Possible, though. Possible. Aurora said, Gavin, did you see the substance on Maddie's floor? Looks like throw up. I did not notice, but let's go back to it. I think it's kind of at the beginning of these photos here. Bring you over to the website here. Okay, so starting basically here, this is her room. Seeing if I see anything. Substances on the floor. This looks like it's a different room already. Now that I think about it, I can't tell. Oh no, it's her room. It's got that bedspread. Let's just keep looking. Yeah, I don't see anything myself, but we'll have to check that out. And then last thing I got was a super chat. Thank you very much from Art. Really appreciate you guys that continue to support me here on the channel. Okay, so here is the plan, everybody. We have left off at 56 minutes and 27 seconds into a 2 hour and 46 minute and 47 second video. So tomorrow we are going to grab about another hour of this, and then we will finish up our discussion of this on Monday. So we're going to do it in 3 parts. Otherwise, we will be here forever. And I know that amazing YouTubers like Gazella over at Grizzly, and I know I talk about her a lot. It's because I really look up to her, but I know she will do these 3 and 4 hour live streams. I don't have it in me right now as a person who also works full time during the day. So I have to split it up. I'm so glad that so many of you join me on these. You know, let me see where we are. We are a community of 93,230 folks, and that blows me away. I'm so glad so many of you join me on these live streams, and that we get to dive in to this case and others. Let me show you guys this. Look at that. I cannot even believe it. So if you are watching this, you're not subscribed, and you like this kind of content, I invite you to subscribe. You certainly don't have to, but I invite you to do so. Maybe ring the notification bell. And then also, actually, while I'm over here, if you go over to the fish tank, if notifications aren't working for you, you can go over to the fish tank on Facebook, and Jamie and Autumn will send you notification messages if you sign up for those over there. So please go ahead and check us out on Facebook. The easiest way to find that is to go over to my website, gavinfish.com. And then on any page up here in the upper corner, there's a little fish that if you hover over, it turns yellow. That will take you to the fish tank. And with that, guys, I think that's probably enough. We've been going for an hour and a half. That is really, really long for me. Thank you so much to the more than 1,000 of you that have hung out with me tonight. I hope to see you tomorrow night. Until then, I bid you adieu, and I hope to see you then. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.